It's time to finish nailing our hives together, so let's get started. With the wood at a reasonable temperature, it's time to nail things together. The nails are supplied with these hives are brass covered and are pretty large. They'll go through about like that. Now, because of the fact that there's such a small area of wood you're nailing through, it's a good idea to pre-drill the wood with a drill bit that's slightly smaller in diameter than the nail. You don't want to drill all the way down. You just want to drill through this top little section, so you'll have to watch how much depth you drill through. So we're just going to drill right here in the center, like so, and then put our nail in. This assures that you probably will not crack this wood right here. Once you've put in the nails on one side, it's important to put them in on the other side. Same thing, pre-drill, and then drive your nails in. Again, the pre-drilling prevents the wood from cracking, especially when it's thin like this. With our hive bodies completed now, we move on to a little bit more of a tedious job, which is to assemble the 60 frames that go in here. And those frames will be what holds our wax foundation, which the bees draw out into honeycomb.
So I talked to my friend Maria last night. She's my childhood best friend, and she and I grew up in the same apartment complex together. And one day when we were probably like 8 or 9 years old, we drove into a dumpster bay. And we were going to go dumpster today, but instead I put my hand into this side of the dumpster, and it turned out there was a bee's nest in there. And all of a sudden these angry bees stung the shit out of me and Maria. We both went running home to our mothers and were crying for hours, and both left our bikes in the dumpster bin. Thankfully they were still there. But that was the last time I'd been stung, so nothing can possibly be worse. Perhaps a murder hornet.
I don't think those were bees. If they're in a dumpster, it was probably wasps or yellow jackets.
They weren't in the dumpster. They were in a nest they made outside the dumpster. They looked like bees, but of course this is like, 40-some years ago. I don't remember, but it was pretty horrifying.
So each frame consists of 4 parts. 2 end pieces, a top bar, a bottom bar. We're going to be putting these nails in there, and we're going to be gluing these together. But because of the fact that the wood is so thin, we're going to pre-drill the top bar and bottom bar so we don't split them when putting the nails in. And to do that, we're going to use a 1/16 inch bit, and it could become very, very tedious to try to figure out where to put the drill hole in each of these bars. So what I did is I made up a drilling guide for the bottoms and drilling guides for the tops. And all we do is we take the top bar, and we put it in the drilling guide, and right where the little hole is, we drill a hole. And that ends up putting our hole exactly where we need it to be. And we do that on either end. The holes are in a different location on the bottom boards. So we have a different guide I made up for that. And again, we put it into the guide. And all these are is just a little piece of angle aluminum. I sat there and worked out the perfect location to drill a hole, made up the guide, and then drilled through the guide from the piece that I knew was correct. We're just going through one here, so...
Just to show, but I was just wondering if you're going to build frame by frame or do assembly line. I think assembly line makes sense.
Probably one of us drilling and one of us gluing and nailing might be good.
I think we can both do it at the same time if I go get the other drill.
Yeah. So I'm going to start the nails in here. Drip of glue in the top bar. We'll assemble the side to the top bar, and then run the nail down. Same thing on the other side.
You're going to be doing the gluing and nailing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You want to do the drill? Well, that works out good then.
I I don't think that'll be good for me.
Okay.
I'm afraid I'll break it.
Split it?
If I do that,
Or
yeah.
something? Okay. We do the same thing on the bottom bar. Again, you want to make sure it's snug and lined up. Because we use the drill guides, we're sure pretty much exactly centered.
So what goes in the middle of it? What?
The wax foundation. There's a little groove on the top.
How do we get it
On
in?
the bottom. You bend it slightly.
Oh, and it goes into the grooves.
Yeah, it
Okay.
goes into the grooves. But there's a reason we're not putting the foundation in now, and it's called the wax moth. These wax moths will lay their eggs on the wax, and the little larvae will hatch, and they'll eat up all the wax and leave all these little lines through it. They wreck the foundation. So the idea is you don't want to put the foundation on until you're pretty close to the time where you're going to give it to the bees to draw out. That's one frame. We have 59 more to go.
Okay.
Keep your eye out for our next episode. We're just getting started.